Hello and welcome back to the A4Q Global Testing Summit. I'm delighted to now welcome Marcel Veselka, an experienced testing consultant and co-founder of the software testing company Tesena. His special interest is based in modern testing approaches, including test automation, DevOps, Scrum, AI, ML, and autonomous testing. And in his presentation today, he gives us a deeper insight into the world of autonomous testing. And we will also discuss the question if autonomous testing, if we are there yet. So, dear audience, feel free to leave us comments in the comment section and ask us your questions. And we are really happy to answer them. And I would welcome Marcel on stage, and I would say the stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here with you and share some ideas and topics I'm now working on, and maybe also collect some your opinions or ideas how I could improve the things we are now working on. And it's autonomous testing. But before that, let me start with, some people say, the most boring slide of any presentation, and it's my quick introduction and then agenda. I put it into one slide rather than having two boring slides. So my name is Marcel Veselka. I live in Prague in Czech Republic. I'm Slovak. I love sports like running. I just went for half marathon last weekend to Lisbon, successfully finished. And I also like to hiking and mountains in general, also skiing. And I would like to talk, as I said today, about autonomous testing. And when I was preparing this talk, I was trying to split it into four various sections. One, I would like to talk about what's wrong with the testing, or what sometimes it's challenging and difficult to set up and organize. What's autonomy? What's the idea? Why it's maybe brilliant and maybe why it's crazy? How to build first autonomous bot. I'll give you some tips how you could do it by yourself. And then I'll show you how we are trying to build the bots to help you with testing in general, not only with autonomous testing, but I'll explain later. So these are the four things I would like to talk about today. And let me start first with the explanation what's autonomous testing. And I was thinking, okay, I need to find some easy way to explain it. So imagine that this is manual testing. Then we have something we call automatic or automation. And you could imagine this as a bit maybe advanced cleaning. And the autonomous could be something like this. And you might say, okay, but this is conference and this crazy guy bring some comics here, or what's that? Well, could we be more serious, or could we talk about the things like in a way that professional should talk? So let's move on. Maybe I'll try to fix it. But this is my very simple, easy explanation about autonomous testing in 3 seconds. You have just advanced approach to tidy up your application. But sometimes there are different activities which come to that 3 different approaches. You always need to prepare tests, you need to execute them, and then you handle some results. When we introduce automation, we introduce automatic execution, and we name the testing that it's automation testing, but it was only automatic execution, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, there might be some exceptions. You might say that we have also automated test design or some other activities, but basically this was the traditional test automation approach: automate execution. And apart from that, we introduced new activity called maintenance. Of course, there was maintenance in manual testing, but maintenance in automation just blow up. It was big activity we didn't need to do before, and now we have something like maintenance. So autonomous is trying to automate everything. That's kind of ultimate automation. In autonomy, we are trying to automate every step we could, ideally everything. And we can discuss, or you could place into the chat whether you agree or not. But I believe this is not feasible now, maybe feasible in the future. It would be great to talk in person about that topic. But this is basically it. That's the autonomy in testing, trying to automate everything. I promise that I'll be also talking a bit about what's wrong with manual testing and what's wrong with automation testing. And these approaches are brilliant. Sometimes manual testing is the best approach you could apply. Sometimes automation is the best approach you could apply. But sometimes it just doesn't work. If you have a quick sprints, you cannot keep up with manual testing. You need to find a better way to organize your testing. You need to introduce some tooling. You need to introduce some automation. Sometimes, if you fall in love with test automation idea, you might end up finding bugs in production because tools cannot cover enough what you do. And then there are some other kind of challenges like skills, people preference. Somebody don't want to automate and they rather quit the job, or you maybe train the people to automate and then leave to the development and so on. So there are many challenges, and it's for ages we deal with these two approaches. I remember 20 years ago, or maybe 16 years ago, when I was starting with testing, we were talking about test automation that time, but the expectation which were there completely changed. There were managers asking us how many people we could fire when we introduced test automation. And the same question is now coming with autonomy, but it's not proper expectation. I think as we evolve in our approaches in testing, autonomous testing will be just next stage or next era where we will introduce some new tools to test better, quicker, maybe more clever, but it's not to replace any of these two. I would like to stress it out again. It's not here to replace manual or automation testing. It might help us to maybe reduce some activities in manual or automation, but it's not its replacement or alternative. That I believe this could, introducing autonomous testing, it might help us to maybe heal some pains from these two approaches, but not to replace. And not talking about my crazy comic slides, I just copy one slide from Gartner to make it more serious. If I am talking about autonomy or autonomous testing, this is the slide from Gartner in 2020. They draw this nice picture and they believe that autonomous is the future. Now we are all dealing with automation, trying to optimize it, find a way how to do it quicker, better, with less resources required, and so on. But this is the prediction from Gartner. And even more, they also predict 2 years ago that by 2025, 1/3 of organization will implement some level of autonomous testing, some level of strategies in automation to apply autonomy. But if you go out, I was doing, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, I already was running a lot of workshops and presentation about the future of automation. And when you read the reports and everything, you will find out a lot of stuff about AI, machine learning, autonomy. But I hate just this kind of slide where I was trying to find some software, some tools I could show on my talk, to show some demos, and I heavily failed. I was not able to find one tool with autonomy to show. Maybe the most advanced autonomous feature I found was self-healing test, but that's kind of, I'll talk later. It's just assistance. Autonomous has two pieces. One is assistance and other one is ultimate autonomy, which we call bots. So I would like to just summarize. I don't believe that autonomy is to replace testers. It's not solution for everything. And nowadays, it's pretty difficult to find some specific tool you could use and apply in your organization. So I felt like this is a great idea, but it still doesn't exist. Then I find out that maybe more than 30 other companies are trying to work on it. But I decided to explore the idea, learn the current stage of the market, and maybe contribute into that. And I'll tell you later what we did on that area. Before that, I would like to just quickly explain where I think it could be easily applied. And you could apply it for UI testing, for desktop, web, or mobile application testing, in area of visual testing, or testing some workflows or forms, or even within performance testing. And you might already hear about security testing. There are already some tools which are semi-autonomous and you could use them, but I would like to bring it into system and functional testing. So UI testing and also API testing is another area where you could use this autonomy. So basically providing the endpoints and expecting some bot to test it for you and give you the results. But these things are pretty advanced. Nobody have it. It's difficult to copy or learn from somebody else if I would like to use some nice words. So we decided that maybe let's start with something simpler. Maybe let's start with some simple idea. And we decided that we will first build some autonomous interaction, and then we will build some autonomous validation. This sounds pretty easy. You just need to build a bot which is able to crawl your app or interact with your app and then validate what it finds out. And I'll give you now one tip how you could build an experiment, how you could build your bot and experiment with that. That was our starting point, and we try to go even further, but it's very simple. And we did it for visual regression testing. And you know that if you don't have any visual testing applied and you have all your pipelines fully automated, so there is no manual test execution or any human touch before you release, this kind of bug you could introduce in production. Imagine that this is the checkout page and you could easily automate the page even if it looks like this, and all tests will be passing. Let me move on and show you how the bot, if you would like to build some bots to cover this kind of problems, you could just take something for validation. I'm giving you a few tools you could use. One is Visual Regression Tracker. That's the animated screenshot. It's tool for free. You could easily download it, and I'll be using it today for my demo. But you could use also any other commercial tools like Applitools or Percy or you name it. And then you need to have some bot. And for that, we were playing with two tools, one built on top of Puppeteer, which was called Quape. But I would like to give you another example or tip, and that's a robot framework using Playwright. The library which uses Playwright is a browser library, and you could build your bot by crawling the app and collecting the screenshots. So this could be the first bot to collect the screenshot and try to prepare your autonomous testing. But we did more than 30 different experiments to really explore the idea and being sure whether it works to invest, whether we could build it. And now I know that we could build it. And we already have some prototypes I would like to share with you. We were also experimenting with machine learning and a lot of other stuff around classification. I don't want to dig into detail, but I would like to show you what we built. And while experimenting with that, we find out that basically we need to split the approaches into two. One is focused on already existing automated scripts. So if you have any automation already implemented, then we call the approach assistance. We are trying to, without touching your code or adding one line basically into the code, we are trying to build the prototypes to expand or extend your coverage of your test cases. And we called it assistant because it's for your existing test automation scripts. And then we have fully autonomous bots where you need to only configure or initially set up the bot, provide the URL, and then give a feedback to the bot to learn or to help him or help it to understand what's pass and what's fail. So there is some learning activity before then you could use it. So these are two things or two approaches we are now working. We call it VOPI, and I would like to show you the demo. It's built on top of open source tool, so you could easily build it in similar way. I don't want to saying that our tool is brilliant, but this is the first prototype we built. So let me show now two demos, not talking only via the slides and referring to some Gartner reports, but I would like to show you something real. And for that, I'll switch from my slides, hopefully it'll work, into browser. Hopefully you could see that. So first what I'll do, I'll open my application I test. So this is my application. It's just basically kind of mini eShop with some gallery, with some fantasy map, always different one, and homepage and checkout page. And basically that's it. You can log in, or you could request new password and so on. So this is app I would like to test. It runs on dronjo.vopi.io. And my first demo is about the bot. So let me show you the bot. And for the bot, I need to provide basically this URL. And then I run it. And I did it before this demo. So my bot already ran and collect 23 different screenshots. And you can see all these screenshots here. And I already approved them and say these are the right ones. I didn't even check them, but I just say these are the right screenshots, and I approve them. So now my bot already has 23 screenshots and is able to crawl the app and run it. So let me now run it. And it'll interact 20 times with application, and it'll save all my results into build ID called bot dry run. Let me see. Now it's running, so you can see that some test cases already passing. It's randomly generate the screenshots, and it's crawling basically via this tree. The bot during the learning period also built this kind of tree. So you could see that this is the home page, and I could see that it clicks on link. It generates some XPath locator to navigate through the page. It's completely randomly generated, and it basically goes through the map. And when I run it again, like now, it does the same, but already the screenshots are collected and the expected results I have in my this bot learning run. And I just need to wait a bit, but basically everything goes well. I don't get any failure. We'll see. It's not very quick as I'm running it locally. I'd like to have some unresolved result. Hopefully I will get one or two. What's timing? Okay, I have still 10 minutes, so I hope we can finish on time. So basically it's just scrolling through the page, randomly clicking through the map. I hope you can see the map. The map itself has 28 nodes, which means that it could navigate through 28 different locations, and I already collected the results. Now it looks like all is okay. Usually I get at least one failure because I built some bugs by purpose into that. So hopefully, yeah, let me see. Now I can see that comparison is same. And I could set up some tolerance. And in this case, it looks like all is okay. No problem. So this is basically crawling the page and trying to collect all the results. 17 interactions, we'll see. Maybe I'll do one more thing. I'll run one more bot in parallel, and I'll try and hope that we will get some failure. If not, I'll show you some failures in my second demo. There will be definitely some failures. But this is an approach for completely autonomous testing. Now let me show you another demo. I'm not patient enough to wait for some failures. I would like to show you different example. That's the demo 2. We call it assistant. And for the assistant, we built some simple regression test suite, which is built in Playwright and TypeScript, where I'm basically testing the same app, but instead of crawling and collecting the screenshots, I am testing login screen with correct and incorrect credentials. Then I'm trying to go to gallery and check whether they are three tails. So this gallery and three tails. And then fourth test checkout. And then just fill in the checkout and confirm and expect that there will be thank you for order. So these are my tests, and normally I would run them with Playwright in 3 parallel threads like this for various browsers. And now I finish these 3 browsers times 4 tests. It's 12 tests. It's done. But I didn't check any visual issues. So for that, we introducing our assistant, or you could introduce your assistant. It's easy to build. I can maybe give you some more tips if there are any questions. And I just run the same test, but now I am sending my test results into the backend, and hopefully we could see some results here based on the results. Now, all new screenshots are, I'll a bit play with it. So these are the new screenshots the assistant collected, and I will do only few approvals. So when it runs first time, I'll show you 2 screenshots. This is first one. I will approve it. It's WebKit browser, and I will approve that one. And second one is this login screen. I will approve this one. And I like to have some gallery because I know that that's unstable. Okay, this is gallery. So let me see. It looks like approved. So for all the approved screens, I have all 3 approved here. And this is my first run. So what I need to do now, basically I could maybe approve all of them. because I'm setting up the baseline. As I said, it's not so quick on the Docker with the Docker on my machine, too many containers. Basically, I am approving all the screenshots. And now when I rerun, and these are my standard regression tests, but I introduce by changing one line of my code, my assistant. And if I rerun it soon, two more, and done. Okay, these two were not there when I click approve. And now I rerun the test. And I should get new screenshots here. And if it's okay, it just pass at the end. You can see that okay test cases are added here. But there might be some issues. Hopefully we will find some. I expect some problems with gallery screenshots. If not, then I know the reason. Looks okay. Approved, approved, approved. Gallery. Okay. I have some bug in my last version of demo. Okay, so it should pass into unresolved. I cannot show you now these unresolved results, but basically it should. I'll show you our cloud. It should end up into stage like this. I could see that, for instance, I approved this map, but it's not there. It's different. It's generated randomly. Maybe it's the stupid example of failure. But what I could do with that, I just basically ignore the area, save it. Okay. And for the next run, I do not get this error. Now it's changed to status okay. So when I rerun it again, it always considered as pass. And this approach is same for bot and assistant. So you just collect the screens, send it to the backend, and let that backend assess the results. Now we are working on that regions that we not only ignore, but also only focus, like we would like to check that logo is correct. We also working on the special features to be able to assess the content of the area, like whether there is text, currency, email, or any data type, and so on. But this is basically our prototype of bots and assistants. And hopefully I was clear enough to explain it. Let me now jump back to the slides. So as you might see, we are this here to see your we are at the beginning. The bots are somehow working. You could see or spot some bugs already on my local machine in cloud. I could show you the unresolved test and failures. But in general, we are now in a stage that in few days or weeks, we will be ready to start our first pilot projects, and we are discussing with some companies to help us to optimize it or develop it further. And I believe this is the future, which could help us a lot with some testing, which is not very nice. We introduce automation because we said it's manual is boring, but nowadays some automation become boring because of so many maintenance and everything you need to do to make it work. So we believe that by summer we will finish with some first, we call them early adopters, to pilot the idea. And from next year we would like to offer this as a kind of platform you could integrate into your testing, and also provide some methodology. So even you don't want to use our tools, you want to build your own tools, we would like to contribute to testing community to find an efficient way to apply that, how to combine with manual automation testing, how to integrate it into CI/CD pipelines, how to select what to test, what to ignore, what to not ignore, how to measure coverage, and maybe how to deal with things like this is passed for with probability of 80% and so on. We expect that there will be some workshops and conferences running on during the autumn to share the results from pilots, and also collect another great idea we could add to our initiative. And I would like to welcome you. If you like the idea, just contact me, and I can share some more details and give you maybe more specific demos. We also search for some early adopters to test the tool with us, or test the approach with us. If you have your own tool, I would like to discuss and share our experience, and maybe help each other. And let me now summarize, because I'm slightly overrunning the 30 minutes I've got. So I think autonomous testing is something which will come. We still don't have any fully autonomous bots. We find out that build it for some complex scenarios, it's pretty tough. You cannot easily test complex business flows. We still searching or experimenting with AI and machine learning, how to apply. We have some results, but it's still not like obvious how to do it. We find out that expectation from autonomy is that you do not need to have so much technical skills, but now the maturity of that approach require pretty advanced technical skills. So this is all things we feel like, even its future concept, even we are excited about that, it won't be easy game to play. But at the other hand, I believe we already could apply or implement test assistance very easily and very quickly. We already proved that we could build simple bots to help us with some kind of stupid testing activities humans should never do, and we sometimes need to do, because it need to be somehow tested, and for the automation it might be a bit complex to automate. So for that, simple autonomous bots could help. So I believe this is something which will heavily impact our future in testing, and we are pretty excited about the topics. That's why we are building such things I was trying to demo. And hopefully there will be more guys who would like to join us and contribute and share that ideas with us. So if you are the one, just contact me. And I would like to thank you. And if you want to contact me, this is my email, or you can approach me via LinkedIn, and we can discuss more details. Thank you very much for listening and watching and following my talk.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Marcel. We have to thank you. I checked the comment section, so actually I would like to start to ask you, or coming back to the beginning of your presentation, you were asking the very big questions like autonomous testing. Are we there yet? What would you say after your summary and presentation? And also, like, I would ask the audience to just type in the chat, like, what you think. That would be really awesome. And yeah, Marcel, what do you think after your conclusion and presentation?
I think we are on the edge, or we already see the horizon that it's coming. We are not there yet, and I know that it's very close. And I feel like this is the future I wanna live. That's why I'm trying to contribute. But I believe in few years, companies will need to adapt that. Otherwise, they cannot compete with other competitors because we don't have enough people in this planet. So we will need to find some different planets with another humans, or we will need to find some clever approaches for some activities which are pretty stupid and we still do it manually, or we are trying to apply automation which is failing in that cases. So I believe this could be very nice complementary approach which is coming, or we are very close to that. And I believe in 3 years it'll have a decent market share. So
Great. So yeah, we are really looking forward to this. And it's also good that we are already on the way and on a good way, I would say. So yeah, thank you, Marcel. Thank you very much for your presentation. It was really interesting. And yes, I would also motivate the audience to text us, text Marcel, write us comments, even after this presentation, connect with us on LinkedIn. And yeah, then I would say have a great day, have a great evening, enjoy your time. And thank you so much, Marcel, for your presentation.
thank you too. Bye.
Bye.